Calm down. I am a doctor. Now, do you want the good news or the bad news?
The good news, I guess.
Hold this. Bad news is that you're dying.
What?
But I can save you.
Whoa.
Whoa! Oh my gosh, I can see water finally! Thank you, Devin! Thank you, Devin! Thank you! Wow! This is awesome!
Wow. This is amazing.
Cool. It's true. The science is clear. Sitting is dying. And I spent a lot of time behind my desk, so I was really excited to partner with Flexispot to get their 𝐒𝐓 Pro Plus standing desk. As you can see, it's big, it's beautiful, and it has its own pegboard. Be still, my heart. I've been using this desk for a few weeks now, and I'm already a huge fan. So for today's video, I'm going to show you how I used a bit of 3D printing to customize my desk setup to perfectly suit my needs. So let's get started by taking a look at how this desk came together. The 𝐒𝐓 Pro Plus assembly process was fairly straightforward. It's basically just screwing together large components, and it took me about 45 minutes. I actually spent more time clearing off and removing my old desk. I also got straight into 3D printing upgrades, because I just can't help myself. So I printed these TPU foot covers to protect my wood flooring before flipping the desk into place. The legs are really robust and heavy. Plus, I chose this massive 78-inch wide bamboo top, so it's definitely a two-person job to flip over. Now I can test out the lifting mechanism, and it works great. The motors are operated using this premium keypad, which is really nice and simple, with a height display and the ability to program 4 preset heights. There's also a child lock and even a built-in USB charging port. The 𝐒𝐓 supports over 350 pounds, so even with my complete desk setup, the motors built into the legs could lift it all up with no signs of struggle. It's smooth, quiet, and lowers just as easily, so I can still access my entire pegboard wall. That said, there are still some things I want immediate access to, and for that I've got this desk-mounted pegboard. This pegboard was super easy to install with these 2 screw-on clamps, and it comes with a ton of useful accessories. By installing the pegboard on this side, I also have access to the back, effectively doubling the usable space. That, plus the fact that it's magnetic, gives me a lot to work with. But there was still one special accessory that I wanted custom made. Since I own several cameras and 3D printers, I have a lot of different SD cards and thumb drives. Here's the solution I had printed for my old desk, and it had some cable holders that worked alright, and these guitar pick holders, which are kind of unnecessary. The design was also a bit delicate, and some parts were starting to break. So while it did the job for many years, I decided to take this opportunity to design a new organizer. And here it is. I quite like the hinge design on the official Flexispot accessories, so I borrowed that idea for my edition. Mine is split into 3 parts for optimal printing, and these little hooks just pop into place. All the cards are easy to pick in place, and once installed, this thing is firmly attached to the pegboard. So it works great, and this yellow Matterhackers Pro PLA matches the color of those steel parts really well. So I'll probably print several more accessories with that filament as needs arise. I also replaced the included screw covers with these ones I printed using Greengate 3D's Devin Montez Cool Gray, just for the aesthetics. The pegboard is definitely my favorite Flexispot accessory, but I did get a few other useful upgrades as well. For a little bit of extra storage, I also got this bamboo organization set. It comes with this cubby, a picture frame, and this drawer. I installed that under the desk with a few screws, and it does provide some convenient space, but it is fairly small, so the pegboard was definitely still a must for me. There's also this cable organizer for underneath the desk, which is really nice for keeping all my cables off of the floor. But some of my plugs were a bit too massive. So, naturally, I ended up 3D printing some standoffs so I could make extra space for all those massive plugs, and that pretty much did the trick. I may still end up mounting my PC to the bottom of the desk to really keep things clean, but this is already a huge improvement for me. The next thing to deal with was my monitor setup. As you can see here, I have 3 pretty big monitors, since I've got my Mac, a PC, and this extra monitor that I mostly use for managing my live streams and screen recordings. Add the pegboard on this side, and the speaker on this side, and even with this massive 78-inch desk, I still have to be considerate about how I use the space. My solution was to take this third monitor vertical with a custom 3D printed stand. This Sceptre brand monitor doesn't come with a stand for vertical mounting, but fortunately it is very lightweight, so I was confident that I could 3D print a remedy. That said, there wasn't an obvious way to remove the existing stand, so I just started removing screws and nearly pried this back panel apart before realizing that there's a smaller removable panel on the stand itself that hides these 2 screws for much easier removal. Whoops. Anyways, I measured that monitor to make a rough reference model in Fusion 360, where I also designed these feet. And I didn't do many calculations here, I just tried to intuitively come up with something that would be strong and stable enough to securely prop up the screen. My secret weapon is 𝐒𝐓𝐋 CF nylon filament, which is extremely stiff and strong. It's also kinda pricey. So I printed this rough PLA test part first. The fit is great, and just the one side on its own is already fairly sturdy. So with both feet, this should definitely do the trick. Using that CF nylon filament with a 10% infill, each foot is just under 50 grams, which is about $10 of filament in total. Thankfully, these worked out on my first try, and I think the look suits my new setup really well. So much so that I also designed a matching phone stand. It's got this passive amplifier for the speaker, and it also works in landscape mode, which lets me plug it in for charging. The CF nylon is definitely overkill for this, but I couldn't help myself. It just looks so nice. To complete that look, I even printed this tiny cable clip with that filament. This can clip onto most cables, and then with some double-sided VHB tape on the bottom, I can stick it right onto my desk. This way I can tuck the cable out of the way when it's not in use, but it won't fall off the desk so I can easily access it. That cable charges my wireless mouse by 3D Connection, along with their 3D Space Mouse, which is a super fancy device that lets me smoothly navigate 3D space in applications like Fusion 360. It's pretty wild. And with that, you've pretty much seen my new desk setup. I'm honestly loving the quality of this Flexispot desk and the amount of space it's given me. And of course, the fact that I can effortlessly switch between sitting and standing is a huge improvement for my comfort, productivity, and for leading a healthier lifestyle. Originally, I wanted their 4-legged 𝐒𝐓𝐋 desk, but it turns out the 2-legged E7 model provides plenty of stability. It can handle all of my monitors and everything else on my desk, and it's really open underneath, so it feels nice and luxurious. So, thanks to Flexispot for helping me level up my workspace. And if you're interested in doing the same, now is a great time because Flexispot is throwing their spring sale with site-wide discounts. And if you use my exclusive code in the video description, US buyers can get an extra 15% off on orders over $500, and Canadian buyers can save $50. Flexispot also offers a 15-year warranty, so they're confident in their products. And a little pro tip, the Pegboard works on all sorts of desks, so even if you like your existing setup, that's still a great way to upgrade your space. Again, I'll put all that info in the video description along with links to my 3D models and more. Thank you so much for watching, you're amazing, and I hope you'll be back for more fun projects coming up soon. Until then, take care, stand up every once in a while, and stay inspired. Bye now.